Thank you for tuning in to the Empowerment Session Live. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. What's good, everybody? It's your boy, and it's another Empowerment Session Live. Y'all, I got my Unc on here. Tell the people, hey, Unc.
Hey, America, how y'all doing?
All right, we got Officer Hughley. This is a great guy, y'all. I'm telling you. He has been such a great man to me. When I asked him, he's my mentor, my brother, he's my uncle. And I want to start this off like this. What will you say was your greatest thing about being a father, being a police officer? What is one of the greatest attributes that you hold?
Well, first of all, I'd like to give honor to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, which is the head of my life. And Mr. Brown, first of all, thank you for those accolades. Now you got me nervous. I got to live up to them. But I do want to say, as far as being a father, that's a blessing to actually to be able to be a father and to have a child. But just knowing that God has entrusted in you how to take this little life, boy, girl, and mold them up in his values or his will, but more of your earthly values that your parents has bestowed upon you and their parents bestowed upon them. That's a great accomplishment to get it. Now, as you all know, it don't always go that way. But right. Just to see them get off track, which they would do, and then we guide them back on track by the word, by life experience. That's what makes it all more the while. As far as law enforcement, I've been doing law enforcement. I was telling another person, I'm kind of old at this, but I've been doing it ever since 1990. But I think my biggest joy, because at one time you used to see people like, oh, hey, we love the cops. Hey, it's good to have an officer live next to you. And then over the years and over the decades, it's changed to, hey, cops are not really looked that well. But I know that as me as a person, as me being a Christian, if I just stay focused on what God will is for me, then this side piece of me being a law enforcement will come natural. God say, love your brother as I love you, or love your brother as we love the church. So what I'm trying to do is make sure that everybody I come across in law enforcement, that I'm respectful, that I'm positive, but that I show love to them. And believe it or not, my biggest reward with that is seeing kids now become adults, and they kids come back to me, and giving me a hug and say, hey, Nefertiti, this used to be my police officer in the school. Now they got their own family, and they're telling to their kids, if it wasn't for Officer Hugo, my life would have been in a shambles, So those are the silent rewards that I enjoy, and that touch my heart.
So he is an officer, everybody. So here's my question. Did you grow up wanting to be in law enforcement?
No, sir. I almost said something, but you told me I can't say the words. So, but just teasing y'all. But sir, no, I grew up, believe it, like every other kid. I wanted to be a football player. I thought that I'd be the next Ronnie Lott, that I'd be a hard-hitting, strong safety. I went to Tuskegee University. I played football. I did TU. You know. But I hey, life sets, and that's what I tell some of the kids. There's 500,000 other kids out here that want to do the same thing. They want to be they're not a police, so they want to be an NFL player. But out of that 500,000, will be good to get 1,500. So, the numbers just cut down, and I didn't get a chance. But my first goal to be a football player. Then I thought about being medicine. They used to give us these little medicine kits and you could play doctor. Heck, I ate all the candy up in the little Mexican. So, but anyway, so I said that might not be good for me. But I just prayed on things. I said, God, what is your will that you have for me? And believe it or not, mom was a school teacher, dad was military. So I understand about that structure.
Mhm.
And my mom being a history teacher, I just kind of gravitated to law enforcement. As a law enforcement officer, I started out as a regular officer, did patrolling, did this thing called COP, Community Oriented Policing, which was back in the mid 90s. Now we're really doing it now. And I'll explain more about that. But climbed up the ranks as a detective, as a sergeant, as a lieutenant, and retired as a captain until I got back into it again on this side of the field. But so I don't know. I think police, it just kind of grew on me, you know.
I got you.
Um,
So,
I had cousins that were police officers, but that was it.
so you wouldn't say that you were necessarily your initial calling. You didn't necessarily want to necessarily be a police officer, but it kind of evolved through time that it just became it became your natural armor to be a police officer. So, with that being said, we got to go ahead and dig in with the
Okay.
current climate of police officers. We've had so much things have happened with the police. How, as a police officer and in the school, how do you necessarily feel about it? I know you can only say so much, but
Yeah.
I just want to hear.
And sir, just to be kind of, just as always, just to be frank with you, nephew. Um, you know, I know, America, listeners, I know we have had a bad look on us as officers. But like I tell everybody, and something my grandmother told me, look over there, John, and get me an apple. And I said, yes, grandma, yes, granny. And I went and got an apple. Some of those apples in that barrel wasn't the best apple. You follow what I'm saying? But guess what? They still apples. And I'm trying to tell you, we just have to sometimes, there's some bad apples. We have to put those bad apples to the side. Now, not saying they're gonna be a shiny apple, but that apple that's bad, we can always do something with it. We can take it and make it into applesauce. And I'm sorry that the climate has looked at officers that are unfavorable, but what I'm trying to let the listeners know, that every officer is not a bad officer. Take that officer that you're dealing with and find the good out of he and she. And and let the Lord do the rest. Let the Lord do his will with the rest. Um, and that's the reason, and that's how I kind of look at law enforcement. I just try to do the best. I asked God this morning, let me be an instrument of your peace. And whatever he entails after that is the way we go with it.
Wow. You just dropped a nugget. That is the word. And you said something earlier, and it brought me to a level of comparison. Because you said about being a police officer, it's the same thought process as an old school preacher.
Okay.
They know when the preacher used to show up, they knew him as the preacher. But through time and through life, things have happened. They have now the imperfections of a preacher or a speaker or whoever that's now on the front street. But now, as a police officer, same thing. We knew them to respect. We knew them to be able to protect us. But now the imperfections that are there, they're on the front street. But here it is. We have to know that these people, like you, police officers, lawyers, doctors, they make a decision every day to say, I'm going to do the right thing. I'm going to do the right thing. But I want you to speak to this. Here it is.
Yes, sir.
As a police officer, as a father, have you ever had that conversation with your children about what you do?
And it's funny because I'm telling my age now, Neff, all my kids, except my baby girl, I have 3 kids I have, Chastity, Trey, and Noel. Chastity and Trey are 30, and Noel is 27. So for all the years, that's all they have known is their dad as a police officer. And because I was doing certain programs, community or in police and cops, they always saw their dad either talking to kids or their dad interacting on the news media saying something positive about police officers. And like everybody else, they see what's going on in the world. And you're right, we do have conversations. You know, my daughter Chastity is a freedom fighter. You know, she's a millennium. She's a Generation Z or Z generation. Everything is, hey, 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 fight the power. We the people. So we have these debates all the time. Hey, Dad, these cops, why did they do this to, Derek Floyd? I mean, what's going on? Amari, so we have these conversations, and I just try to tell them that, sweetheart, judge people for who people are.
Right.
Know who you are. Be the best person that you can. I can't really give you information on why the officers did that or why they didn't do that. I will tell them technically the way my law enforcement training will have taught me to do this, but I never put myself in I never judge another officer, because I want America to know that we only have less than 30 seconds, less than 3 seconds to make a decision that can impact someone's life for the rest of their life. We have the power to take life, which is bad. And in some sense, we have the power to give life or to help bring life into the world. I had to deliver a baby during my law. Didn't even know it. The lady was put on the side of the road. I thought she was breaking down. She's in the back seat because they couldn't make it. I had to deliver a baby. Didn't know how to deliver, but just got in there and did what I had to do. And the biblical cord was around her neck. So things like that, you just have the power to affect people's life. And back to my kids, I just try to tell them, always come to me, let's talk, but always try to be the best person that you can be. And life will figure itself out,
So we coming down to a close. I want to say this. It is very interesting that as a police officer, you wear multiple hats, because there's always crisis intervention. There's always a level of you got to step in and do something, because you said something which I didn't know. You got 3 seconds to make a decision. Mm-hmm. And if we really took that and valued that, all that pressure wouldn't necessarily be on the cops. Because if we start looking at our life, if we had 3 seconds to make a decision, life or death, which one would we choose? Because now in 3 seconds, I'm dealing with the emotional part of me. I'm dealing with the physicality. I'm dealing with where my mental state is, all of that in 3 seconds, which amazes me that you as a man, as a father, you know what I'm saying, you got other things as a man, period, and you got to make a decision in 3 seconds. That's a lot of weight and pressure. But can you speak to the pressure that's on your life just being in those predicaments?
Mr. Neff, I will tell you this. And you're right. When you say it like that, you're like, golly, he's right. 3 seconds, I got to make it. Something got to happen. But I want to say, by the grace of God, those seconds, I don't feel the pressure, because I know I got someone that died on the cross for me. And I ain't gonna get crying up here, but I know that I got someone that died on the cross, that carried the cross to Calvary for me. And if anything that I got going on, I can deliver it to him. I hope that if I ever place in one of those 3 seconds or 2 second situation, that my training will come back into play on what to do. If someone has a knife and I'm telling him or her to put the knife down, I want to be able to make sure that I can articulate that, hey, they was 8 feet away, and that's the reason why I didn't shoot them. They never made a lunging move towards me. Or that I can use my hostage negotiation skills and talk them down. But once that is off, once that situation is over, you're right. You got adrenaline dump. And that's the time that I get on my knees and I pray and I go and just have those talks to God, because you can't make it in this world without God. And especially doing some of the jobs that we're doing, it's just, you can't, I don't see how people can walk around and not have a relationship with God. And I think that's why I'm more thankful for, because I can talk to him just like I'm talking to you on this podcast, and he will answer, And I hope that's what you was,
My
God.
He preaching this morning.
Thank
He's
you.
getting ready to be a
Watch out
deacon.
now. Watch out now.
He's going to
Watch
be a
out
deacon.
now. Well, hey man, you rubbing off on me now. That's that iron sharpen iron. But I appreciate that, to at least to be able to say something good about my God and your God and our God. So
right. So, hands down, what is your greatest life achievement that you can say, oh my God, I really did this?
My greatest life achievement. Now that's a good one, nephew. You have so many in different stages of your life. Golly. I will tell you this. I would tell you this. I guess one of my greatest life achievements would be this: just being number one, being baptized, accepting the Lord. Number two, having, my kids and having them to be healthy. But I think one of the things that's really kind of resonated in my spirit is my dad was kind of, transitioning. And he and I talked, and I say, hey, as a father, here it is. It's something that I hope my son asks me one day. I asked my dad, I say, Dad, are you proud of me as your son? And, because I had been, I can't say it. You're about to go there. But I was about, because, I've done some crazy stuff in my life, before I was a cop, y'all. But I said, Dad, are you proud? Taking credit cards, burning them up. I mean, when I say burning them up to the limit, them getting me out of trouble for doing a little crazy stuff, speeding. Car. But anyway, I said, Dad, are you proud of me, as your son? And, he looked around and he said, John, you are my proudest accomplishment. Wow. And for me to hear that from my dad, I was like, okay, hey, the sky's the limit now. My dad, my earthly father, told me that he approved of me. And so at that time, I felt I could do anything. But just as our earthly father said that to me, my heavenly father says the same thing each day when he wakes me up. And he gives me a new set of blessings. You see what I'm saying? A new set of blessings. I don't go off yesterday's blessings.
Come on here.
I got a whole new set of blessings. And guess what? Get on their knees, keep praying, and tomorrow I'm going to get some more blessings. And the next day I'm going to get some more blessings. So when I relate that to it, it just makes me like, okay, I made my dad proud of me. Sorry, guys. I made my dad proud of me, and that's something. And now I just strive every day to make my heavenly father proud of me. So
I got you. It brings me back to scripture. When Jesus was being baptized by John, the sky opens up. God says to Jesus, this is my son who I'm proud of. Those moments between the exchange between a father and a son, between a father and a daughter, those exchanges are can't be explained. Yeah. Because there's a level of affirmation, glory. There's a level of affirmation that the father gives to the children.
That's it.
And provides the identity. Okay, we ain't gonna talk about that. I preach that for days.
No, come on. No, because you're right. I mean, that's what makes that child whole. And if a father is not in that child's life, or if a mother is not in that child's life, that child misses that affirmation, which completes them. I mean, that might, oh, woo, that's
All
powerful.
right. So,
Okay,
all right.
okay, okay, okay.
So every show, everybody gets an opportunity to empower someone like them. I'm gonna give you these 2 minutes to empower somebody like you. Reflect about your life, and what would be some words that you would tell somebody like you?
I would tell someone like me that's out there listening. Hey guys, I don't at one time, and first of all, I am still a work in progress. God is working with me every day, but there has been some times when I was in places that I shouldn't have been, that would have had me 6 feet under. There was places that because of me maybe drinking a little bit too much, I could have been stopped, not have a job that I have now. I could have been financially in places that would have torn me up, and I'm out of it. But what I do want to tell you, have a relationship with God. If you have a relationship with God, I guarantee you there's nothing that you can't go through. He will take your rough storms and make them calm seas. He would take a person that has a 300 credit score and make him into an 800 credit score. He would take someone that they say he ain't gonna ever do nothing and make him to graduate from college with 2 degrees, to go to grad school, graduate with honors, and to even looking at going to to pursuing a doctor's program. You know, God would take things. And I think that's just the way he do, man. He take people that are messed up, because you told me I can't say that. He would take people that have got messed up, and he seems like he is the master potter. He wants just a mound of nothingness, and he's gonna make it into a beautiful sculpture. Our God is a very powerful God. So if I can share something with those are the words that I want to share to the listeners. Your life ain't jacked up. You still got it. You can still make it. You can still be someone. I don't care what you say you got going on. You trust in God, and God will heal you. If you're dealing with an ailment, if you're dealing with something you don't know where you want to be, sit down and ask God where you want to go. And I guarantee you, he's going to give you the roadmap to get you to where you want to be. I just ask that you do like I did. Just trust him. Just trust him. That's all.
My Lord, Deacon John Robert.
You've been rubbing off on me, Pastor. You've been rubbing off on me. So if I'm doing it, it's by the grace of him. But you know, God say, surround yourself around good people. You know, show me who your friends are, and I'll show you where you're going. You know, so I appreciate that, sir.
So everybody, do you have any social media where people can follow you or anything like that?
Hey, you know, because of what I do, I really don't. I mean, they say I'm on Facebook. You might see me on my college days. So that'll get a chance to let you know how I used to be. But I think I got a Facebook page out there, sir. That's it. You know, hey, man, I don't even know how to do all this technology stuff. I'm just joking. I had a hard time getting on Zoom. I was like, hey, what I need to do? So I don't, guys. I don't. But if anyone's interested, y'all can reach out to nephew, and he'll pass on your information. I love to talk to you. I love to pray with you. If you're interested in law enforcement, I love to talk to you about that. If you're interested in just how to manage it with a daddy, you know, I'm interested in doing that with, you know, whatever I can do to help save a soul, I'm here for you.
Got you. He's also a brother of Omega Rho Psi.
But put that thing in there, then y'all hear him now.
So that's Omega Psi.
Omega Rho Psi is one of Make a roadside something that I'm looking to achieve in the upcoming months or years. There we go.
Wow.
The bishop, but I am a Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, Lambda Epsilon, Tuskegee chapter. But yes.
Oh my goodness. A blooper. It's a blooper. I appreciate you for coming on.
Appreciate you having me.
Officer Hughley is a dear friend of mine. In this time that we've known each other, I've learned so much. And being able to have an older gentleman to be able to pass on that wisdom has been such a blessing to me. And I appreciate him. We definitely have conversations about many of life's journeys, you know, and it's good to be able to have that exchange and to be able to get a little wisdom nugget every so now and then. Officer Hughley, you got any last things you want to say?
I just want to say, sir, thank you once again for those accolades. But I must be honest. I said it earlier and I have to say it again. You have been a source of my light. You know, you have brought me closer to reading the word. It's iron sharpened. It's like these scissors. It's iron sharpens iron. So, you know, you, Coach Nunley, you brothers have really kind of been in my spirit to have me, you know, when I get off a little bit, you guys kind of push me back in the right. So I appreciate y'all too. You know, and I don't want to do things that would be embarrassing to my family. But now that you all are my second family, I don't want to do things that are embarrassing to you all. So I appreciate you. Those words touch my heart. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you as well. It's been your boy. Y'all can catch us every Monday through Friday for the motivational moment. You can also check out our merch at empowertoimpact.com. It's been your boy, the CEO, Flip Flop. You don't stop. Peace, love, and no hair grease, because we both ball.
We ball, y'all.
I'm so glad that you tuned in to Empowerment Session Live. I hope you were inspired, educated, and encouraged. Until next time.